What is the purpose of advancing the arts in Frederick? Towards what end, I guess?
So the arts are very integral to the strength of a community, and I can get into the whole history of how we got started. It was sort of a phoenix rising out of flooding in 1976. The then mayor decided they needed to do something, a game changer, and a group of folks came together and formed the Frederick Arts Council. And the idea was to draw new residents, businesses, and visitors to Frederick.
So the first step towards revitalizing your town is appeal to the artist?
Yes, it is. Now, I'm glad you asked that, because a lot of people think, well, if we had the economic base, if we had, enough banks, or if we had enough big businesses or headquarters, then we could afford to do some things in the arts. No, the opposite is true. If you start with the arts, you will drive your economic engine. It'll help bring in tomorrow's businesses, not just today's, tomorrow, what you want to be in 10 years, 20 years. And it'll bring in visitors, and it'll bring in new residents and workers. People want to be near art.
Is there any way to quantify it for any other town or city that's looking to revitalize? What proportion of their effort or money should be spent on the arts as opposed to anything else?
I wouldn't give it a formula. I would say it should be intentional, and we should be more intentional too. I mean, we've been lucky because people are in the arts for their passion. So it can't be from top down. It can't be because the mayor said it should be. It has to actually be integral to the fabric of the community to begin. But if you've got these two leaders believing in it, and you've got the grassroots authentic energy in it, that can be kind of that's the secret sauce, and the end result can be what you see in Frederick.
In terms of the grassroots, how did it manifest itself in Frederick? What was already here?
First of all, one of the, I think the reasons the artists started to come was it's very expensive to do art in DC and in Baltimore. And a couple of decades ago, you could come here, get a studio, do something fabulous, and really make a go of it. Now that's not the case anymore. The studio space is going up and up, and this is what happens. The artists discover a community, turn it around, and then they price themselves out of it. So we're helping keep an eye on that to make sure that there's affordable studio space. And we have a project, it's Studio Artist Space on the corner of 1 North Market Street. It's specifically 5 to 7 North Market Street, where we have 25 studio artists at very affordable cost.
How do you talk to somebody who says, oh, why are we putting money into the arts? If there were a market for that, private industry would be doing it.
Well, the arts are interesting. Some of what they bring is not quantifiable. I mean, we can quantify the money. For example, if a government entity puts in $1 into the arts, they're going to get $7 back on average. Well, the way that works is if you're going down to a show, you have to park the car. So the parking lot's going to get some of that money, and that's going to go back into the public coffers. That's all quantifiable, and research has proven that to be the case. Not quantifiable is some of the other aspects that the arts bring, which is a feeling of wellness and hope and belonging and identity and place. All of that is not quantifiable, so it's hard to say this is why the arts are important, because it brings a sense of wellness, identity, place, optimism. But that is the case, and anybody who spends time in Frederick knows that's the case. You can feel it walking down the street.